Excuse me. You're 100% right. I wish that every time I went out and I filmed the video, I remembered that showing is more important than telling. But I forget, and when I do, that means that I typically will have to go back out and get B-roll so that I can show what I'm talking about instead of just telling you. And this video I'm working on right now is the perfect example. So let's talk about just a few things in this video I did to make it sort of flow better and to make it more about showing than telling.
I'm a little surprised that the roads down here and past down here have way more rocks on them than up in the mountain. Like, I gotta pay attention, man. Way more than I do up there.
And that little intro right there, you can see one little bit of B-roll, which is pointing down, showing the rocks in the road, not just talking about it and going, oh, there's rocks in the road, but actually showing on the skateboard, I need to be aware of my surroundings because of what happened to me last year with the whole broken collarbone. I am a little bit sketched on where I'm riding and how I'm riding. I wanted to put my own personal experience for those who have been longtime followers and might know that I shattered my collarbone, that I'm being cautious when I'm out there doing something like that. There I am showing the rocks in the ground, and there was tons more. That just happens to be the shot that I got that I thought looked good as it panned back up to transition to the next phase. And there's a spot right here I'm going to be adding B-roll to. As I'm talking about up in the mountains where I normally ride, I want to actually show by breaking it up, sort of like what we talked about a couple years ago with the 7-second rule and having it sort of jump around to showcase my environment and where I'm actually at versus just talking and talking and talking.
I'm a little surprised that the roads down here and past down here have way more rocks on them than up in the mountain. Like, I gotta pay attention, man. Way more than I do up there.
Let's skip ahead to another example. If you were at the other spin up when I did a speech, you'll notice there are some blue dots down on the music bar so that I know when the beat changes, because from that talking example, it goes into an overview showing you where I'm going. Not just saying, hey, I'm going to Chick-fil-A, I'm going to do this and that. It actually sort of shows the transition from me skating with the rocky road, ending up at Chick-fil-A, drinking a tasty beverage that Billy Kyle recommended to me years ago. So let's just watch how it transitions from the skateboard to some drone shots being put in, since this video is about drones, and how it sort of ties together.
That's where I'm going. Right over there.
Billy Kyle turned me on to these frosted lemonades. They're delicious. So you notice there was blue markers for all the beats that I wanted to transition and go from scene to scene, with the drone shots being put into those as well now. And this video is about the Avata, even though those drone shots look like they could be done with something like the Mini 2 or the Air 3. So you also notice how it skims around, shows the Chick-fil-A, doesn't just talk about me going there. I don't even mention that I'm going to Chick-fil-A. I show you that I'm going to Chick-fil-A, because showing helps push the story more than me just sitting down doing talking head and saying, let's go to Chick-fil-A and get that drink. I really don't want to use too much time just talking to the camera about a whole bunch of stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, when you are doing talking head, just like you've noticed in the video you're watching right now, I'm going back and forth, cropping in, cropping back out whenever my thought process sort of stops and I have to rethink what I'm saying. And that's a great way to get out the you knows. So all the little stupid little things we say as our brain is thinking about what we're gonna say next. And sometimes I actually know what I'm gonna say next. I stop and just zoom the camera in. So as I'm scrolling through this, you'll see I've got a lot of the B-roll, which is drone shots and just talking head and going out from something like this where it's a drone shot backing away.
I'm going to show you how we can achieve that. Now I can't
and I transition
exactly
into something like that with a little motion instead of just talking head. And if you haven't seen this video, it is on my channel. You in the back, put your phone away. You can look it up later. Don't watch it now. Plenty of time to skim through the channel and watch all these videos at a later date to see what I'm implementing here and how I implement it in other videos. This B-roll shot was taken on site. It's just talking about the controller and having a tilt wheel. And instead of just talking about it, you show it.
The 3-axis gimbal would. Of course, you have a gimbal tilt wheel on the controller, just like you do most DJI drones or all DJI drones. But the big difference is you're wearing goggles. So because of that, you can actually fly closer to things once you get the spatial awareness of where the drone is versus what the goggles are showing you.
And it's something like that that's just so simple that a lot of the times we forget to include in our videos. Now for this particular video, I really felt I wanted to try something different with B-roll, which is what I'm gonna go out and bring you on field right now so you can see what I'm gonna do to finish this video. You get to stay in your seats as I go out there and I try to find a nice open field, bring 2 drones and this list, laying out the entire video and figuring out what I need to really pull this video together to make it better than good enough. And keep in mind, there is nothing wrong with good enough. When we're just pumping out YouTube trying to get started, good enough is what you want to shoot for. If you get hung up on things and these great transitions and these crazy amounts of B-roll, one video can take you way too long to make. And when you first start YouTube, it's really about consistency. So let's go ahead and pick up the camera, get you guys outside so you can see how I'm gonna achieve these last few shots.
For this particular video that I'm editing currently about the Avata and this list, I wanted to try something really different. So what I did was I went through the list and figured out what I already had footage-wise, what I needed, what was harder to film. A lot of this stuff I've already got footage on my computer from old videos, as well as some of it's just sound effects and overlays I want to do. But a few of these that I've starred, I need to actually go out and film today. And a couple on this list are not easy. This video that I'm working on is about the Avata in the Horizon Steady mode, which lets you use it sort of as a regular camera type drone. And instead of just talking about it, I wanted to show people how the brake function actually worked, and doing that is not easy. So to achieve that, we have the Air 3 and my Avata down here in this bag, and we're gonna put the Air 3 up to give or take around 200 feet, and I'm gonna do my damnedest to fly the Avata and do some kind of barrel roll or something flippy floppy thing, hit that emergency brake or throw it into normal mode right in front of the Air 3 so that it corrects itself and goes into a hover. Now, you don't have to be this extensive in your B-roll, you really don't, but the point of this is showing what something does goes a whole lot further than just talking about it. Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and try things differently.
Take off.
No clue I'm gonna pull this off. First thing I'm gonna do is go up to the same height. We're just going straight up because I know I went out a bit. Should be getting close to it. All right, there it is actually. I'm gonna drop down to 300 feet. That's so dope. But with this drone, there's a brake feature. You can switch it right back into normal and it just hovers, just goes right into place. You can be completely upside down and hit the brake or switch it to normal and it will flip upright and just hover there. So you can go up 200 feet in the air and start practicing, and if it starts to drop towards the ground, pop one of those safety features on, get it back in normal mode, fly it back up, switch it to manual again, and try again. Bro, shut up. Ugh, there's always something in my videos up. This is another one of those do what I say, not what I do things. One of those moments that I'm gonna suggest to you, check your footage before you go home. Check it, just because if you had to go out and get this B-roll, get this footage, and then you get home and you realize, ah, crap, then you gotta go out and do it again. Don't be a me.